My name is Dan McAnally. I'm the quality assurance engineer with Mackie, Woodinwille location. I'm relatively new here. It's been about 2 months I've been here so far. And my goal is to assure corrective action is done on suppliers and in-house here, and to work with distributors and customers as far as resolving their problems.
I'm Chris Perminsky, sustaining engineer. I've been here for about 2.5 years now in Woodinwille. Basically work on quality issues on the production line and do some test engineering support in addition to some component engineering.
Hello, Mr. Kim. My name is Glenn Wilson, and I am the test supervisor at Mackie Manufacturing.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm Chuck Baker, PCB assembly manager. So anything having to do with building the electronics that go on our products is my responsibility. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and start over in our surface mount area, which is the beginning of the whole process for making our product. So we'll start in the surface mount area and then come through the final assembly. Okay?
Right. It's a new line that we're setting up here, and in fact, this line is scheduled to be operational in about
1 week.
1 week.
I see.
So it's continuous flow. If you see the three conveyors over one another, the main assemblies come simultaneously in real time to come together.
Oh, I see.
Unit.
This is our surface mount room, and what we have is 3 separate lines that are very similar in construction. We use Panasonic chip shooters for the high volume placement, and then we have a couple of fine pitch placement machines for the more precise placement. We'll go to this one right here. So we start off with an automatic board destacker, and we just put a stack of boards in there. It selects a board, puts it on the conveyor, and takes it into the screen printer. These are automated screen printers. And this is where we apply the solder paste to the board. Step is the initial placement of basically resistors, capacitors. The reflow oven for reflowing the solder paste. Right now we're processing approximately 3,000 boards a day. Surface mount, then we have axial, which are these 2 machines are axial insertion machines, and then the next step would be radial insertion. So these machines do the resistors, diodes, those types of components that are axial parts. Electrolytic capacitors, transistors, and LEDs is the main purpose of these machines here. Here's some of the green LEDs. Here we have some transistors and some yellow LEDs, red LEDs on the other side. The axial machines run at approximately 8,000 parts per just shelves, and we were taking up probably, this saves us in the neighborhood of five times the floor space would be required if we actually just put all these components out on the shelves. So I'll give you a quick demonstration of one of these. I think generally people think this is cool. We have all of our various types of resistors and capacitors here, and when an operator needs a part, they look on the sheet to determine what part number they need, and then they go and select the shelf and hit go. And that brings the part that they need available for them. So again, we're storing our components going up versus spreading out across the floor. The area, and we'll go take a look at one line, and all of the lines are basically the same. So if we look at one line, you'll get an idea on how we have that set up. And you'll have to excuse the mess. We're doing some rearranging and creating some new lines, so you'll see some things on the floor that wouldn't normally be there. This is one of our hand load lines, and again, this is typical of the way we've set up our hand load line. Right now they're building the 242 board that's used in the CFX product. And so the station 1, you see the documents show which component goes in what location, and the components are in the bins right here. So following the documentation, they install, in this case, installing switches and some backside rear entry. All the components installed. We have our wave soldering machines, and in this case we have 3 wave soldering machines. The other one's behind this big pile of totes. But they go into the wave solder machine to attach all the components. And I'm not going to go in there. It's a busy area. I don't want to interrupt their work. And we're changing over to this type of build, which is continuous flow manufacturing. And previously, we have all the hand load assembly done. Then we go through wave solder. Then it goes over to these benches to have checking for solder bridging, missing components, adding some components, and maybe some assembly work. And what we're changing, we're in the process of starting to change the factory over to continuous flow, where all of the product goes right down the center track, and we have immediate quality feedback from station to station. As you can see on the sign, this is our PCB test. So every board that's produced goes through some type of testing at this level. We have several different types of testing. Some of them are completely automatic, as you can see the PCs here. Some of them are totally manual, the old style, where they have to use just the scope and look for signal levels, so on and so forth. And then we have some other automation that's bed of nails type testing. Again, the test department's at lunch right now, so we can't see anybody in action. The final assembly area is at lunch at this point also. This, as you can see by the sign, this is certainly. This is the compact mixer, compact CFX mixer line, and as you can see, they have the boards that have been tested. Oh, go ahead. The boards that are tested are staged right here. Here is the sheet metal.
Thank you.
So they have the boards ready, then they pull the sheet metal, in this case, CFX 16. This is delivered from the building next door, and then they start the assembly process. And again, this is a progressive build. The work instructions up there show them what hardware is to be used, what cable. And here's our final assembly for this particular product, our final assembly test station. You see they have an oscilloscope, they have a CD player, and one of the important tests on all of our products is they actually take music and run it through the various channels and listen to it with the headphones to hear any audio noise or any anomalies that are not supposed to be there. Okay, so this is what we call Mackie 1, which is the main building that houses the most of our manufacturing, our accounting, our sales people, and the executive offices. Then we have Mackie 2, which again is our shipping, receiving, main stores, and our metal shop, which includes paint, fabrication, and We also have a machine shop there that takes the extrusions for heat sinks and so on and so forth, and cuts those and drills those. Okay, for this part of the tour, I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to start at the very beginning where we take the flat stock of steel and start the process of creating our chassis. So we need to go to the other end of the building to do that. Okay, this area here, this is our automated paint line. And as we get to the beginning of the process, you'll see how we end up getting to here. But as you can see, we have the overhead conveyor that take the pieces of chassis and run them through various paint booths and ovens and so on and so forth. Right here, these parts are actually completed and they're taking them off, getting ready to package them. The back of a 1604, I believe, is this right here. All right, this is the again Mackie Metal Works, and we have a couple of punch cells here. Doesn't look like either one of them are running, but we'll go take a look. Either one of them are running. So as I explained before, this is the input side of the machine right here. So we take flat sheets of steel, and they're loaded in there, and then they are grabbed by loading devices and bring it in here. And this is actually where the inside here is where the punching actually takes place. There's a turret that's about brake processes. You can see right here. He's doing a setup check right there. But they take the flat pieces and run them through the brake process, putting the appropriate bends on them. After the brake process is done, the next step over here, we have these hardware machines where these automatically install the PIM nuts for running the screws through and mounting the pieces of hardware, or mounting a board into the sheet metal. And then you can see this gentleman over here. This is again the beginning of the paint process. Once they're all formed and they have the hardware installed, they hang. But at this point, they install the manual. Mm-hmm. It's already prepackaged with the Mackie sticker and everything. And then we have these stickers that go on depending on what model. In this case, this is an 808S. And they put in, a lot of times they put in some other documentation here. I don't see the serial number.
Uh-oh. Hello.
And give us your name and your position.
I'm Pat Lambert. I'm the technical support supervisor.
Okay. It's nice meeting you, Pat.
Nice to meet you.
And have a nice day.
My name is Daniel Moore. I do pre-sales at Mackie, qualify customers for products, and I love Thai song.
Okay. Thank you, Dan.
Hi, Chang.
Paula Collins, and I'm in International Sales Administration.
Okay, it was nice meeting you, Paula.
Nice meeting you.
Tell me what you do. Okay.
Hi, I'm Brandy.
And what do you do here?
I work in the parts department.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.